Good evening, everybody. Happy Thursday. I hope all of you had a good week so far. For this week's poem, the inspiration for it comes from the poet Seyda Ermanli. I was scrolling through my Instagram feed at some point last week when I came across her reel. When I came across a reel and found that the piece that she wrote for it asked the question, where do you go when you close your eyes? Well, after being awed by the visuals on screen and by the simple set of lines that made up the poem responding to that question, I decided to run with that idea. And lo and behold, I ended up in a very familiar place. And the poem goes something like this: where do you go where do I go? Where do I go when my eyes close? I go to Nissa La Bella, the blue skies above and the Mediterranean Sea up ahead, golden sunshine and tapas accompanying a glass of cold rosé, the meandering of the Vieux, the fragrant flowers in the Cours Saleya, palm trees, chickpeas, and the thick scent of lavender in the air. A place I was in for only one day. It won me over and I wanted more. I didn't want to leave, to fly home. I wanted to stay on the promenade, soaking up the blissful summer vibe, and I do, every time my eyes close. So yes, the prompt was based on the question Seyda wrote, where do you go when you close your eyes? Honestly, I'm not sure why Nice came up this time around, because for those who follow my feed, it's a place that my mind has wandered to quite a bit since the 4 years have passed since the trip to France back in 2019. Yet I still remember that day very clearly, even without the photos that I took on the day. I remember the deep blue sea and the deep blue sunshine, that golden ball of sunlight glistening just over the water, where you could see the white light shimmering under the beach. Just walking down the promenade with the palm trees everywhere, I felt like I was in paradise. A contrast to a few days earlier, where it was gray and rainy in the Loire Valley, Normandy, and Paris. But even the sunshine of Avignon, Arles, and Cannes could not prepare me for that walk down the promenade. I felt like I was in heaven walking down the beach, and that was before walking toward the old town to view Nice. I wished I could have had at least an extra day in the city. and I told the company that I booked the tour with as much when they asked me how the trip went in the days after I came home. It just felt like for all that I got up to, from the promenade, the old town, the Cours Saleya, and then the Contemporary Art Museum, the finish, it felt like it was already, by the time all that got settled, it was already late in the afternoon. And I did not want to go back to the hotel, because that meant, like, okay, it's a sign that the farewell dinner's on the way, and you're gonna have to go back to fly back to Paris and then fly back to New York. That's why Nissa's figured so prominently in a lot of my poems and writings. It's that beautiful sight. It feels like paradise to me. And hopefully I'll get back to Nice at some point as part of a greater exploration of the rest of the towns of the French Riviera. But until then, I'll always have that memory of that one day in the city and all the photos that I took following how that day went. And I'll always dream fondly of Nissa La Bella every single time. Well, everyone, that's it for this week's video. Hope all of you have a wonderful Friday and an amazing weekend, and I'll talk to you guys again next week. Good night, everybody.